Welcome back to another episode of Archie Sonic Character Files as we explore the histories of the inhabitants on planet Mobius. In this episode, we take a look at the history of a gang of scallywags known as the Pirates of the Setting Dawn. Arr, matey, to celebrate Talk Like a Pirate Day, we be setting sail on the high seas to tell the tales of these cutthroat pirates from Archie Sonic's new timeline. Ha ha! And that's all you're gonna hear from me in my piratey voice. Ha ha! The Pirates of the Setting Dawn made their first and only appearance in the final Sonic Universe story arc, The Case of the Pirate Princess. Echo the Dolphin, one of the royal guards at Meripus, goes to the Chaotix for help in finding their missing princess, Undina. They accept the case and they all go out to find her. Later, they are joined by Razor the Shark, and soon they are captured by a vessel that is both a submarine and a pirate ship, in which they find the princess, who is now captured by Captain Shellbreaker, along with his gang of pirates, Mr. Bristles the Yeti Crab, Dive the Lemming, Blade the Shark, and Opal the Jellyfish. It's also revealed that Razor was once a member of the crew, and he quickly holds Echo at knife point, saying that he wants to rejoin the group. Surprised by this, the Chaotix also try to go along with Razor's idea, and say that they want to be members too. The captain is a bit confused on what's going on, but Bristles says that they could use the new recruits, especially since most of their crew abandoned them to go and join the Eggman Empire, so he agrees to this, all while Echo is locked up in the brig. So the crew spend their time with the Chaotix, Razor being reunited with his sister, and as you would expect, they are off to find buried treasure, using Princess Undina as a translator with some old maps and details, all while the Chaotix and Razor try to figure out a plan to rescue the princess. They soon land on an island and begin their hunt. Undina tries to translate some ancient text, to which she concludes that there's some kind of thing of mass destruction, which really piques the captain's interest, using some kind of weapon of mass destruction to not only get back at his former crew for joining the Eggman Empire, but to also loot the world of its treasures. So they manage to make it into the temple to find nothing. Just some more ancient text and stuff. The Chaotix decide to spring their plan into action to get the princess and hightail it out of there, along with the help of Echo, who they'd rescued earlier. Despite escaping from being trapped inside the temple, the pirates are too late, as the Chaotix have stolen their ship. Now they're left stranded on an island, with nothing but grief of dealing with more betrayals. Captain Shellbreaker thinks that what's left of his crew will do the same, but Mr. Bristles reassures them that they're still loyal, and states that they've been through worse. To which the captain agrees to this, saying that they'll be back, stronger than ever. Shellbreaker is the leader of the group, keeping his crew in order while being charismatic at the same time, and apparently being a skilled swordsman. Though we do see a more darker side to him, where he begins to obsess over the idea of a weapon of mass destruction, especially when he still holds a grudge against anyone that betrays him. We also get a glimpse of a younger Shellbreaker where he used to have two eyes. Makes you wonder if that eye patch was added for decoration, or something happened to him that cost him his own eye. Only thing I'm not too thrilled about is his habit of replacing utterly with otterly. It happens like once or twice, I think, but I'm just not a fan of the idea of, oh, this guy's an otter, let's make otter puns, hoo-hoo! I would pin the blame on the writer, but this story is written by both Ian Flynn and Ali Baker, so I don't know which one of them was trying to channel their inner Mike Gallagher for this guy. Even so, I still like the captain, and think he needs more attention. Besides, this will most likely be the only time you're going to be seeing an otter character show up in official Sonic media. The oldest of the group, who is most likely the Muscles as well. Unlike most of the crew, Mr. Bristles is more level-headed. Probably explains why he acts like Captain Shellbreaker's first mate. A man who is loyal and keeps things under control, as well as being a father figure to Razor and Blade, as he claims that he raised those two sharks when they discovered them, and that it saddened him when Razor abandoned the crew back then. I feel like Mr. Bristles would be the one member that's easy to get along with, seeing as how he comforts Razor with his sibling troubles, or having some downtime by breaking out ye old deck of cards. This guy definitely has the most unique look out of the bunch. Much like otters, it's rare seeing organic crustaceans show up in official Sonic media, as he's specifically based off of a Yeti crab, hence why the guy is so fluffy. And I think it works with how they designed his hands. An interesting combination of regular hands and claws. Probably don't want to mess with this guy when it comes to arm wrestling. Now, here's a gal you really don't want to mess with. Blade is Razor's older sister, who is a fierce pirate known for being very blunt and very aggressive. And much like Razor, her main weapon of choice are daggers. This gal has had a pretty rough life, with how she and her brother had to fend for themselves when they were young, and later taken in by pirates. She really didn't like it when her brother decided to leave the group, and things only got worse when most of the crew left to join the Eggman Empire. Now she's been pretty miserable, complaining about how things have gotten too quiet and misses the old days of big raids and stuff like that. And unlike Razor, who started to accept the idea that there do exist good people in the world, Blade has always been very bitter, believing that it's her against the whole world. When the two shark siblings are reunited, it's pretty obvious that they're not too thrilled in seeing each other again, but deep down she does care for her brother. And it makes her sad when Razor leaves the group once again near the end of the story. I definitely feel like Blade is a gal that had a lot of potential to be featured in other stories. And despite only being featured in this 4-part story, it feels like a lot of stuff is properly established for her character, and her sibling quarrel with her brother. It's definitely a big step up than that time they tried to give Knack the Weasel a sister, and really didn't do much with it. Out of all the members of this pirate crew, it feels like Dive is the one that got the short end of the stick. Basically, this guy's a punching bag for the riders, with how worthless he is. Getting trashed by Vector, caught in the middle over the argument for breakfast, and getting captured and tied up near the end. This guy probably doesn't even wield a proper weapon. All we know about Dive is that he has an obsession for the open seas, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, not much to say about this guy.
At least the ocean will never leave me. Right, Ocean? Why don't you ever answer me, Ocean?
Opal is probably one of my favorites out of the group, because I find her so amusing. A gal who tends to be lazy and finds amusement in teasing her crewmates. Though she seems to get along well with Charmy. And I just think her design is cool. It's definitely quite the glow up compared to the last time we had a jellyfish character in Archie Sonic. She seems to enjoy living the life as a pirate, even going as far as grave robbing. Though she seems to have a fear for curses. And when it comes to battle, who needs a weapon when her hair is made up of electrifying tentacles? Though sadly we really don't see her in action that much. Still, she's a valuable member when you're on her good side, as long as you don't mess with her sweet tooth. Now, of course, the story also reveals characters that used to be members of the crew, like Razor and Abyss, but I won't be talking about them, as I think they deserve their own separate episodes. But there's also this mysterious member that only shows up in a flashback when Bristles talks about when they found Razor and Blade. Was this thing the former captain? Was it just a regular member? And what is it supposed to be anyway? All I can think of is that it's either a goldfish or maybe a seahorse. Who knows? And that concludes the Pirates of the Setting Dawn. And overall, I do like them. You almost kind of feel sorry for them with how they dealt with so many betrayals, from Razor leaving the group to almost their entire crew joining Dr. Robotnik. Not only were they the last batch of characters exclusive to Archie Sonic to be introduced, but it feels like this is the last time of a lot of things. The last time we'll get to see unique animals being used, though I guess later we would get Tangle and Trip, even if one of them is a classic Sonic only material. The last time we'll get to see any pirate characters in official Sonic media, since they can't be bothered to bring back Captain Whiskers and his crew, and instead end up being lazily written off as being killed off screen. And the last time we'll get to see aquatic Mobians, because apparently Sega is not a big fan of aquatic-themed Sonic characters. Well, I guess IDW Sonic has Mimic the Octopus being the one exception, but yeah, I really don't want to talk about this guy. I'm sure that if Archie Sonic wasn't cancelled, we would have seen more of these pirates in action, and maybe expand on the temple's lore and stuff like that. But alas, those details will just have to remain as buried treasure. Well, that takes care of this character file, so until then, I gotta choose!
Yes, they're on the garden.
What?